Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, recently I've seen two different videos where people have shown the Celtic Cross. Do you know the Celtic Cross? We consider it a very traditional tarot spread of 10 cards. And originally, the Celtic Cross, I believe, was published by A.E.Waite, who created the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot decks in the early 1900s. And it became a very traditional spread. And when I first started using tarot, when I was in my late teens, had a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and I tried reading with the Celtic Cross, and it didn't make sense. It didn't sink in with me. I was frustrated by the meanings. I was frustrated by the spreads. Nothing seemed to stick, and I didn't seem to be getting any answers, and so I put the Celtic Cross aside before I put away my cards. But I also eventually put away my cards for a couple of decades, frankly. Life took its turn. I started doing theater and stuff went in a different direction. But I put away the Celtic Cross a long time ago. But then watching other people do their videos sparked my interest, got me titillated. And I saw a couple of other videos on the Celtic Cross, and I thought, heck, I'd like to do an unboxing of the Celtic Cross. I'd like to try doing an on-camera reading of a few different versions of the spread and see how they work, see if they read for me, if I can read with them now as a more adult human who has gotten more of a sense of the cards, of cartomancy, who has perhaps, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for a word that is not, incarnated maybe, yeah? Incarnated the tarot, who has absorbed and manifested tarot within himself, being a male person right now in this body. So, that's what we're going to do. I've got 4 different spreads and 4 different versions of the Celtic Cross, and we'll look at each of them and read questions around them. So if you're interested in this, if you're interested in my unboxing of the Celtic Cross, then stick around. We'll dive in together. As I said in the introduction, what I'm going to do is an unboxing of the Celtic Cross spread. And I will be using 4 different versions of it. I'll be using let's call it the original, as published by A.E.Waite of Rider-Waite-Smith fame. And I will also be using the version that was shown by Dawn Michelle on her channel, Boho Tarot, and also the version by Lisa Papez as shown by her on her channel, also known as Supportive Tarot, and the version by Colette Baron-Reid, which she uses for her week ahead oracle readings. And I have 4 different decks, one for each spread. For the A.E.Waite spread, I decided to go with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. For the next spread, I'll be using my Melanated Tarot. Yeah, both of these have reversals already shuffled in, so I will go with reversals for the first 2 spreads. The last 2 will be the Tarot de Saint Croix and the Fountain Tarot. So for those 2, I do not have reversals shuffled into those decks, so we'll be reading those all upright. And I have 4 different stories picked out. I'll be asking questions about those stories. 2 of them fictional, 2 of them real people from history. So for the first one, Rider-Waite-Smith deck, Arthur E.Waite spread. And I will have the questions for the spreads at the end of each reading, just so you can have them to check out on your own. So yes, for the, let's call it the traditional Celtic Cross, I'll be using the story of Cinderella. And Cinderella is deciding to go to the ball or not. So her question is, what will happen if I go to the ball? And I will be showing my shuffle here. So if you want to skip the shuffle, go right ahead. Skip away. But let me this is my shuffle for the decks with reversals. And let's see. So, position 1, what covers her? What crosses her? What crowns her? If Cinderella goes to the ball, if I, Cinderella, go to the ball, what is beneath her? What is behind her? What is before her? If I, Cinderella, go to the ball, what is before me? This is myself. This is my house. I, Cinderella, this is my house. What are my hopes and fears? My hopes or fears, I should say. What are Cinderella's hopes or fears if she goes to the ball? And what will come? So what covers, what crosses, what crowns, what is beneath, what is behind, what is before, herself, her house, her hopes and fears, her hopes and or fears, and what will come. Okay, so I think we're ready. Now, the Arthur Waite suggests putting a significator down first and then laying the spread over that significator, but we're not going to do that. I don't use significators generally outside of Lenormand, so we'll not go with that. Cut the card and we'll just place card number 1. This is what covers. The card that gives the influence, what is affecting the person. Ooh, interesting. This is what crosses. It shows the nature of the obstacles of the matter. Also upright. What crowns? Now 3, we've got the crowning on top. Let's see if I can fit this in here. Ooh, okay. So what crowns? It represents the querent's aim or ideal in the matter. The best that can be achieved under circumstances. What is beneath? It shows the foundation or basis of the matter. That makes sense. Okay. Number 6. What is before? Number 5. What is behind? Yeah. This is position. So Waite says that this position is swapped depending on where the significator is facing. But let's say this significator is facing forward, so we're going to put behind over here. If this significator were facing this way, according to Waite, we'd put behind over here. Something like one might do for a kipper card or directionally reading cards. But we'll put behind over here. This is behind her. It gives the influence. Really interesting. Okay. And number 6. What is before? This shows the influence that is coming. Oh, okay. And this is herself. Ooh, reverse and... Now I'm going to be putting these this way to be able to fit all cards in. We have reversed 7 of Wands. Number 8, her house. Ooh, now that makes sense. Yeah, her house. This is the environment and tendencies. Number 9, her hopes and or fears. Okay, so as a reversal, that looks more like perhaps a fear. And number 10, what will come? Oh, okay, so I see some cards that seem very, very right on point. Some cards that seem a little bit difficult to read. Let's see what it looks like on camera. And okay, let me just adjust this for your viewing pleasure. I guess I could bring this up a little bit more, like this, like this, like this, and like this. Okay, so what do we have? We have what covers, the Hierophant, the card that gives the influence affecting the person or matter of inquiry. So affecting her is institutionalism, yeah? She's going into a very rigid society of royals, non-royals, and a middle noble, semi-noble bourgeois class. And so what covers her is this institutionalism. Yeah? And it's not necessarily always a church. It could be institutionalism of society. And what crosses her, it shows the nature of the obstacles in the matter. And what do we have is temperance, which is alchemy, perhaps. Now, what crosses her can also sometimes be something that can aid her. This is a little bit of a difficult card for me to read in this situation. So she's got society against her, or something that is covering her, hiding her, perhaps even. And the thing that is an obstacle for her is perhaps the need to have a more integrated life. Yeah? Right now, she is all servant. And maybe she needs to have a more integrated life, and that is what's crossing her. What crowns? This represents the querent's aim or ideal in the matter. Her ideal is to get out of conflict, I guess, is to remove herself from conflict. Yeah, the 5 in reverse is, the 5 of Wands is a competition or a conflict card, battling. And her house has been battling. Yeah, she's been struggling under her stepmother and her stepsisters, and her aim is to escape from that. Not to get into more of it, but to escape from it, to remove herself from it. I think that's why this is reversed. What is beneath? This is the foundation or the basis, the Hermit. And yeah, she's been alone for a long time. She's been alone with her thoughts, introspective for a long time. And this is where she is coming from. That makes perfect sense to me. what is behind. Now this is odd. It's behind her. It gives the influence that has just passed or is now passing away. Satisfaction. And perhaps this is not her satisfaction, but the satisfaction of others. Now perhaps she has been tending so much to the satisfaction of others. Now this could be her stepmother, for example, and her stepsisters. Now she's been doing this. She has been the satisfier in the past. And what is before? This shows the influence that is coming into her life, the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Cups. What am I saying? The Ten of Cups. So, happy family, a union, an emotional union, joining, bliss. That makes absolute sense. So if she goes to the ball, what is coming into her life is this union and bliss and emotional connection and joy. Makes absolute sense for Cinderella. Now, herself, this is herself, the significator. What the person or thinking is shows the position, the attitude toward circumstances. And her attitude toward circumstances is her feeling of lack of resilience. She doesn't feel like she can take it anymore, which I think is what this reversal of the Seven of Wands is. Yeah, if this were upright, she has the fortitude, she has the strength to hold her ground, to be strong, to battle internal or external challenges. But this is reversed. So she feels like she can't deal with it anymore. Yeah, this is bordering on almost being a Nine of Wands. Which is also resilient in a sense, but she doesn't feel like she has the capability to hold her ground anymore. Which kind of makes sense, right? Which is why she wants to change her life. 8 is her house. This is the environment and tendencies at work. The Tower. Structures are crumbling. Things are crumbling around her. Her mother wants to send her daughters off to marry the prince. She wants to get her daughters moved out into the world, and she wants to squash what's left of Cinderella's willpower, her last hope. She wants to squash them. Total Tower moment. Which is another reason she wants to go to the ball, right? And then we have the 9, her hopes or fears in the situation. And since this is reversed, I assume this is her fears of fear of success, fear of triumph, that she fears that she will not be successful. She will not triumph in the situation. She will go, and people perhaps will discover that she is not worthy, that she is not in her place, that she will be found out as a trick, not a con artist per se, but she'll be found out that she doesn't belong. She will not be victorious. And what will come is an upright 10 of Pentacles, legacy, material comfort, family, tradition. She will be starting her tradition with these two 10s. She's got the 10 of Cups coming to her, and what will come is the 10 of Coins. She will find her legacy. She will find her castle. She will find her place within society and begin her legacy, begin her traditions. So what do I think of this spread? I don't read with reversals all that much, frankly. And when I do read with reversals, it's for very, very, very small spreads, like 3-card spreads, maybe a 9-card spread in a box form. But with individual questions and answers, one-on-one question-answer spreads, I usually don't use reversals. But I think it worked out okay. I feel a little bit uncertain about, for example, this card and this card. But I think we got there. I think this being not her, but the other people around her, being the thing that she's passing from, the other people's satisfaction, wanting to avoid and get out of conflict. I think that makes sense. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. Okay, so this is the Arthur E. Waite Celtic Cross Spread. And I will put these back in the deck, and I will also, right now, put up the list of these positions right now. So now we're going to do the Celtic Cross as presented by Lisa Papez at Supportive Tarot. Well, at Lisa Papez is her channel name, formerly known as Supportive Tarot. And I've got my Melanated Tarot here. It also has reversals shuffled in, as you can see. So we're going to keep reversals here. And the question for this spread is going to be Harriet Tubman. Do you know Harriet Tubman? I hope you know Harriet Tubman. If you do not, look her up. There's a movie about her that came out in the last few years. Harriet Tubman is a very important person in American history, U.S. history, I should say, not American, because America is also Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Nicaragua, etc. So, United States history, and internationally, I believe. Harriet Tubman was also the name of my mother's school, the elementary school that she was principal of. So I heard about Harriet Tubman a lot. We, of course, in the United States have had discussions about putting Harriet Tubman on our paper currency, which unfortunately I don't think has happened yet, which is truly unfortunate. But Harriet Tubman is one of my heroes. And so for this spread, we're going to do Harriet Tubman. She finds herself in freedom in Philadelphia. And her question is, what do I do next? Yeah, I got here, I've found freedom, now what do I do? And so we're going to shuffle the deck. If you want to skip the shuffle, go right ahead. I will put the questions for this spread at the end of the reading, just like I did for the last one. So here we go with the shuffle. Let's see. Harriet Tubman finds freedom in Philadelphia. Now what does she do? Now what do I do is her question. Yeah? So, the heart. The core of the issue. The cross. What affects the issue, for good or ill. Below. What is unconscious, not known? She, I, is, am in Philadelphia. What do I do now? What does she do now? What is unconscious, not known? Above. What is conscious, known? The past. Journeys coming to a close. The future. Journeys just beginning. What is the journey about to begin for me now that I have found freedom in Philadelphia? What is my journey now? What is Harriet Tubman's journey now? Here we start the staff. Internal. Internal influences impacting the issue. How is she impacting her situation? External. External influences impacting the issue. And here we have another greatest hope and fear. What are my greatest hopes and or fears? Now that I've found freedom. now that she has found freedom. And 10, the key to the outcome. What is the key for Hermit? So again, core of the issue, what affects the issue for good or ill, what is unconscious, not known, what is conscious, known. Journey's coming to a close, journey's just beginning. Internal influences, external influences, hopes or fears, the key. Okay, so again, Harriet Tubman, in Philadelphia, free. What next? 1, the heart, the core of the issue. Okay, that kind of makes sense. That's why she probably would be coming to a reading, right? 3, now, 2, I'm sorry, 2, cross. What crosses her? Ooh, okay. Interesting. This deck is so beautiful. I love the colors in this deck, the rich colors. And the skin tones as well. 3, below. Now, this spread has the below card below in possession in number 3. Ooh, interesting. So, what is unconscious? Unknown. Okay. 4, above. What is conscious or known? Interesting. Number 5, past journeys coming to a close. Okay, that makes sense. Sure. Number 6, future, journeys just beginning. Ooh, now that's beautiful. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, so number 7, internal influences impacting the issue. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. External influences impacting the issue. Oh, a reversed Ace of Cups. That kind of makes okay, good. So I get it. Number 9, greatest hope or greatest fear. Ooh. Okay. And number 10, the key to the outcome. Okay, let me look in the camera to see how well we are. Let's see if I can get these looking a little prettier. Let's see, yes, that can go up higher. That can go up just a little bit higher. Maybe up like this. Okay. So I'm sorry I'm not the greatest. I mean, that's okay, right? You can live with that. So I hope you can live with that. So this is interesting. This is very interesting. What do we have? So this is Harriet Tubman, right? She's in Philadelphia. She just got free. However, I did not mention that one of the reasons that she decided to take that journey is because she got married to a free person in the South. And that marriage was not valid. And her brothers were going to be sold. So she wanted to take her brothers away, and her relationship had just broken up. Yeah. So she got free, yes, but she didn't get free from a free state. She was breaking away from stuff, and not only from slavery. She was breaking away from some personal stuff as well, and fears about her family and her brothers, and a lot of stuff was mixed into her journey, her first journey into freedom. So, what is the core of the issue? The core of the issue is the reverse 3 of Wands. So, she's right now perhaps resisting something. Yeah? She's got the potential to take a step into her future, to move in the direction of her vision of the future, of a free future. But right now, she's resisting it. She's resisting it. Maybe she can't see where she wants to go, but there is some resistance around moving into the future that she wants. And what crosses her is perhaps her satisfaction that she got to Philadelphia and she's, I'm here. And she wants to be in that satisfied, that she wants to enjoy her freedom now, which is wonderful, but it crosses her future. If she stays in that satisfaction too long, it crosses her. What does she really want to do next? She doesn't want to stay in satisfaction because she knows that she cannot be satisfied because of the pain and suffering of so many people in the United States. The enslaved people, and the people, and also the not enslaved people, the people who have found their freedom and are yet still facing severe racism even in their freed state. So, yeah, she cannot rest in her satisfaction. I think that is a perfect card for a cross. What's below, what is unconscious or unknown, is her perhaps she fears her creative power, her receptive power, her power to manifest into the world. Now, she's spent so much time trying to escape that she has lost touch with her inner creative ability. And that's perhaps what is below her right now, is her insecurity, her lack of trust in, or her perhaps even repression of her creative ability, and her perhaps even maternal position. I don't like reading the Empress as a mother all the time. Yeah, she's much more than a mother. She is a regal person. She is a creator in the earth Gaia sense of creator. But she could also be resisting her mothering, nurturing instincts right now because she has been struggling so hard. So that's perhaps what is below, and something that needs to be taken into account, something that needs to be examined. 4, above, what is conscious? Now, it's interesting that this tower is reversed, which could either be a desire to break things down, or a resistance to the change that needs to happen, or an ignoring of the change that needs to happen. And to me, what I see here, what is conscious and what is known, is the active pursuit of the tower. Perhaps even aggressive pursuit of let's see. Okay, so right now, let me, I'm perhaps reading too far into her future. Right now, she's in Philadelphia. She's just got her freedom. She hasn't started doing her future work. And perhaps she's right now resisting. And perhaps I get it. This is related to this and this. Now, right now, her conscious mind she is resisting breaking things down because she unconsciously doesn't feel her inner empress yet. So right now she is resisting the breaking down of things because she just got free. She's here. She's in her satisfaction. She's in her, oh my God, I made it moment. And so right now, at this moment, she is resisting what the next step, which is to break down and do what she can to break down the system of slavery, which is a heavy burden and not something that should be placed on any one individual. And yet she rises to that. She rises to that magnificence and why she is a hero. Okay, so this is past journeys coming to a close. Now, to me, the Queen of Swords is the independent one. She's the independent thinker. She thinks her way out of situations. She figures her way through, And that is totally Harriet Tubman. That is what got her here. Her Queen of Swords, her Queen of Swords-ness is what got her to Philadelphia. She is independent. She wouldn't let herself be trapped in her where she was in the South. She was an independent thinker, and she got her butt out of there, and she eventually helped other people get themselves out of there. And what is about to start? Yeah, from this mental state of her independence to her emotional state. Now, what is her future? Journey's just beginning are her emotional stability and her emotional connections and her ability to ride through the turmoil, the emotional turmoil of others, and find her center and be connected and be emotionally stable and be the leader, the emotional leader for others. These two cards make so much sense to me. Okay, so 7. What do we have? Her internal influences. I'm getting excited. I like this reading. 7, the internal influences impacting the issue. Okay, so internally, she is totally her Queen of Wands. Yeah, her King of Wands. I'm sorry, King of Wands. She's got her power. She's got it. I mean, she unconsciously is resisting her creativity, but she's got it. She's got creativity inside of her. I'm scratching my card. She's got that creativity inside of her. She's got the passion. She's got the fire. She's got it all. Internally, she is the king of her passions and can work with them. She can do with them. She can create with them. She's got that inside. And the external influences are right now, at this moment, she doesn't have that seed of this yet. Yeah? Right now, externally, she hasn't found her inspiration yet. She hasn't found within her circumstances how to embody her King of Cups yet. So what she needs to do is she needs to find her seed. She needs to find that cup which is going to be offered, but right now is not visible for her. The cup which will lead her to her King of Cups-ness. And we have another cup. You see, we got 4 cups here. So cups, the emotional thing is very important for this reading, right? I didn't look at that for the Rider-Waite-Smith, for the A.E.Waite Celtic Cross. But here we've got, what do we have? We've got 4 cups. So the emotional thing is important for her. Now, we've got 3 wands. So passion is also important for her. Passion and emotion. We've got 2 majors, so this is a very important moment in her life. And so we go to 9. Her greatest hope is finding connection, finding friendships, finding love, connecting with people. Now she's done the escape thing. Now she wants to connect, to unite. And she also finds her emotional connection in the north as well. She finds her partner there, which is wonderful. And then the 10, the final outcome is going to be competition. It's going to be struggle. It's going to be the 5 of Wands. It's going to be a fight. Yeah, her outcome is going to be a fight, and the fight has never ceased. There is no end to this fight, at least that we can see at this moment, because though there is an end to slavery in the United States, there is deep-seated racism. And we have not wiped slavery out of this planet. There is slavery still existing in many places around the world in many forms. There is child slavery, there is adult slavery. There is slavery. So this journey has not ended. Yeah? The key to the outcome is going to be putting up the fight. But you see that this is not a beaten down thing. These people are active, fighting. They have power. They're not knocked down. They're not defeated. They are fighting for, let's say, justice, for freedom, for liberty, for their lives, for their lives. Okay. Wow. I like this. I like this reading. I like this a little bit more than what came up with the Rider-Waite-Smith, with the A.E.Waite original. I think some of the positions are a little softer, easier to read, perhaps even more flexible. What's unconscious, what is conscious, those kinds of shifts. I like this spread. I like this spread. Okay, so I'm going to put the questions up here in the video right now. Now we're going to dive into the Celtic Cross Spread shown by Don Michel on Boho Tarot. Her spread is very much like Lisa Papez's version, but there are some slight variations. So we'll look at that. And I'm using the Tarot de Saint Croix. This deck and the next deck do not have reversals. Now, frankly speaking, I was surprised at how well the spreads from the first two decks with reversals went. It wasn't nearly as frightening or as difficult as I was afraid it was going to be. I thought it read fairly well. But for this spread and for the next one, we're going to have all upright cards. And because the questions for the first two spreads were women, I'm going to do two men for the next two. This spread, we're going to be looking at Aladdin. Now, Aladdin, I'm sure you all have seen either the story in the storybook or the animated movie or an old movie on TV. Aladdin is a very, very famous story. And for this question, Aladdin has just found the lamp, or it has just rubbed the lamp, and a genie has appeared, and he's wondering, what do I do now? Yeah, this is amazing. I've got this wonderful magic creature here to help me, and what do I do with it? What should I do? So we're going to do that, and I'm again going to be doing my shuffle, this time for upright cards. And if you want to skip the shuffle, skip the shuffle. I'll see you in a moment, or keep watching. Okay, so Don Michel, Boho Tarot, Aladdin. The genie appears. What does he do now? What do I do now? So, the heart. Oops, sorry. No. I'm sorry. I got all confused. The heart. What's the reading about? Influence. What is influencing the situation? Above. What do I already know? Below. What is beneath the surface? Behind. What is coming to an end? I found this magical creature. What is coming to an end? Before. Where am I headed? Number 7, lessons. What will I learn from this? path. Where am I on this journey? Advice. What do I need to know or do? Now, I've got this genie in front of me. What do I need to know? Or what do I need to do? What does Aladdin need to know? What does Aladdin need to do? Outcome. What will I manifest? So, what's the reading about? What's influencing the situation? What do I already know? What is beneath the surface? What is coming to an end? Where am I headed? What will I learn from this? Where am I on this journey? What do I need to know or do? What will I manifest? Okay, so we cut the cards. Aladdin. I have a genie. What do I do now? So what's the reading about? Ooh, interesting. Two of Pentacles. Influence. What is influencing the situation? Now this is upright. Ooh, feeling trapped, which kind of makes sense. Okay. Above. Now she puts three above. 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 What do I already know? Okay. Below. What is beneath the surface? So this is a bit of a smaller deck. I can move some of this down. Okay. Let's see. What is below this? What is below? What is beneath the surface? Good. Behind. What is coming to an end? Oh, that makes sense. Sure. Interesting. These kings, right? Before. Where am I headed? Okay, interesting. Moving on. Number 7, lessons. What will I learn from this? Okay, a learning card, right? Number 8, path. Where am I on this journey? Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, sure. That's where he is. Number 9, advice. What do I need to know or do? Okay. Number 10, outcome. What will I manifest? Oh, okay. Yes. See, the cards, they do not lie. Okay, let's see how this looks on camera so that we can look at this together. Okay, so we've got a little bit of glare here. I'm sorry for that. Okay, that doesn't look horrible, I guess. So, let's look at this together. Intéressant. I think I'm going to look at the book for one or two of these things. Because this 8 of Pentacles, I think 8 of Cups might have a bit of a different take in this Tarot de Saint Croix. But let's begin with number 1, the heart. What's the reading about? So, the reading is about this balance and choosing. How do I balance my resources? Yeah, I've got on one hand a very difficult life that I'm coming from, and I got on the other hand this magic. This looks rather magical, doesn't it? This magic here. I don't want to leave one completely behind for the other. I want to balance this. I want to, and also perhaps walk into my infinity. I want to own my infinity here. Now, you see that this infinity is going through what could be the sacral chakra, which is the creative chakra. Yeah, so I want to own my creative infinity, my infinite creativeness, by balancing and balancing the resources, things that I have available to me. And the thing that crosses, or the influence, what is influencing the situation is his feeling trapped. Now, Aladdin comes from poverty and has had to do things that perhaps he will not feel very proud of in the future. I don't know. I'm not going to put that judgment on him, but clearly feeling trapped by his poverty. And that feeling of trappedness is always a mental thing, right? We can be out in the middle of the woods, living in a tent and feel as free as the most free being in the universe, or we can feel trapped by circumstances. And that's our own personal our perception of our circumstances, just like this bird is perceiving their circumstances. So that is what is influencing him right now. As this magic is appearing before him, he's still in that state of feeling trapped and wanting to escape. Number 3, above, what do I already know? I know that there is wealth, that there are riches, that there is a way of living a life of abundance, and being able to do things in the world, and to be able to work with people, and to be able to create, make things in the world. Yeah? He already knows that there is that possibility for him, I believe. And what is below, which is why he feels trapped, because he knows that there's this possibility for him. He's got this future that he knows for himself, but he feels trapped by his circumstances. And what is below, what is beneath the surface, is his King of Wands. Yeah, his passion, his ability to create, his ability to envision where he wants to go, his ability to not make things, but make things happen. He's got this. And perhaps for a time, he's going to unconsciously put this power into the genie. But he's got this all on his own. He's got this passion. He's got his instincts and he's able to work with them, and he knows how to use them. He is the master of his passion and his instincts. And what is behind, what is coming to an end, is his childhood. I mean, the Six of Cups is the nostalgia card, right? His childhood is coming to an end. He's going to be moving into his adulthood with this genie. But his playing around, playful robber days of carefree life is coming to an end, clearly. And what is he moving into before? Where is he headed? He's headed into that leaving behind state, leaving behind things that no longer served him, leaving behind leaving behind his cups, his nostalgia, his old cups, to move on to new ones. And while we're talking about cups, let's see how many cups we have in this. We have 1, 2, 3 cups in this spread. But how many pentacles do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 pentacles. Yeah. So really, the main thing for him is resources, cash, perhaps even, but also home, stability, family, health. All of those things are important to him. But also his emotional journey is important to him. Yeah. We've got 3 cups here as well. We also have some swords. We have the 8 of Swords of Trapped and the Knight of Swords. So looking at those things, we've got a lot of balance. The one thing that we are missing, what are we missing? We are missing, I'm sorry, we have pentacles, we have swords, we have cups, we have wands. No, we're missing nothing. He's very balanced, very balanced. He's got more wands, so his passion, his creativity is high up there. Right behind it is his cups, his emotional journey. Okay, so he's moving on. And let me just take a peek at the Eight of Cups here in the book, so to see if I can get any additional hints for the Eight of Cups. Waterfall in Havasupai in the Grand Canyon flows into a series of 8 pools, meaning emotional strength, okay, is not about overcoming our feelings, but instead immersing ourselves in them until we can release them. Okay, that makes sense. So he's not just walking away from them. In this deck, she's suggesting that we immerse ourselves from them, in them, so that we can move past them. And that makes sense. That makes absolute sense. So, number 7, lessons. What will I learn from this? Is a page, a learner card. I'm going to learn what to do with this genie, perhaps, for example. I'm going to learn how to create things in the world. I'm going to learn how to observe what's around me and use that information. I'm going to look, now that's kind of going into the swords, but this camera is what makes me think of that observing. I'm going to observe what is here in the world, and I'm going to learn from that. And I'm going to learn how to use those things. It's not learning knowledge per se, it's learning how to do from experience. And that makes sense. And experience with the genie. Yeah? Now, what do we have here? Path. Where am I on this journey? And right now, I'm outside of the place with resources. I'm outside the wall right now. I'm moving past that, yeah? We see the connection here of being trapped outside the wall, lacking resources, feeling lack. But we also see here, we have the Lady of Guadalupe, yeah? Who is here to help those outside the wall, who's here to bestow blessings on those outside of the wall, to pray for those outside of the wall. And perhaps this could be our genie for Aladdin, yeah? Here to help Aladdin through his 5 of Pentacles time of his life. Okay, this is really interesting, isn't it? And then advice. What is the advice? What do I need to know or do? I need to get my brain going. I need to get my brain activated. I need to cut through my clouds here. I need to cut through my clouds, find the light, find where I'm going, get a clear vision of where I want to go, get a clear vision of what I want to be and how I want to be in the world. I want to clear the clouds away, actively, with my sword, with my clear mental abilities, my mental acuity. I want to get through. And you notice that this knight has the clouds here, a clear sky. This knight is wearing the clear sky as this knight is facing the clouds and parting them with his intellect and ability to communicate. Because for Aladdin, his ability to communicate to the genie, to Jasmine, and later to the people as he becomes a prince, this is very important for him. And this is the first step. This is where he needs to go. And what is the outcome? What will he manifest? He will manifest, for me, this is a card of dreams. He will manifest his dreams in all of their diversity. He will manifest all of his dreams. This is a wonderful reading. What do you think of this reading? As I said at the beginning of this video, I had a resistance to this Celtic Cross. And seeing other people's working through the Celtic Cross in their videos made me want to try it myself, which is why I'm doing this unboxing of the Celtic Cross. And as I'm doing it, I noticed that I like it. I like it. I can see possibilities again in this spread that I did not see when I first started reading tarot as a teenager. So I like this a lot. And as usual, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the card positions, the questions, into the video right now. Here we are with the Fountain Tarot, ready for the last dive into the Celtic Cross. This is the Celtic Cross as used by Colette Baron-Reid on her weekly Oracle card readings, her week in advance Oracle card readings. And I like the way she uses her spread. In her spread, the staff on the side they're not individual questions, but they're general events or energies that the seeker will experience. So this is a much more free form Celtic Cross. And so let's see how that works. And again, these will be upright. And the person I chose for this is Admiral Lee Sun-shin from Korea. Now let me give you a little background because you don't know Lee Sun-shin unless you're Korean or a Koreaphile. Lee Sun-shin was an admiral in the late 16th century to the 17th century, and he was in charge of the Navy at the time when one of the times that Japan invaded Korea. And this is a time when Japan had received weapons from the West, from Western Europe. They received guns and war technology from the West that had not existed in the East before that. And they used these Western weapons to attack Korea, and they were pretty successful. They got quite far into Korea before Korea was able to turn the tides. And one of the deciding factors to repelling the Japanese invasion was Lee Sun-shin's sea battle off the southern coast of Korea, near Jinju, I believe. My location might be a little bit off, but near Jinju. And Lee Sun-shin, under Lee Sun-shin, Lee Sun-shin was the admiral who was responsible for the development of a special kind of boat called a turtle boat, which is perhaps one of the few armored or covered boats in history. And with these turtle boats, I'll put a picture here. So that was a turtle ship. And that is what Lee Sun-shin used to battle the Japanese Navy and turn the tides with the invasion of Korea by Japan. And so the question is, Lee Sun-shin is about to face the Japanese invading fleet with his new turtle boats. How will the battle go? That's what he wants to know. How will the battle go? And again, these will all be upright. So this is my upright shuffle. Let's see. 1. Where are we? Where are we? Lee Sun-shin. Very, very, very famous. One of the most famous Koreans in Korea. Lee Sun-shin says, how will the battle go? So where are we right now? How are we standing right now before the battle? What crosses us? What is the obstacle? Or what helps us overcome the obstacle? I like that. I like having both of those for this number 2 card. The obstacle or something that helps us overcome the obstacle. The foundation. Yeah? What is beneath us? What are we standing on? The past. What have we learned? Number 5, the highest. What can we attain? I'm about to face the Japanese Navy with my new turtle ships. What can we attain? So, the next spot, what's around the corner? Yeah, the near future. What's around the corner? Now, here we go with the staff. What events or energies will we experience? What events or energies will we experience? What events or energies will we experience? I'm about to face the Japanese Navy with my turtle boats. What events or energies will we experience? What events or energies will we experience? Where are we? What crosses us? What are we standing on? What have we learned? What can we attain? Whoa, what's around the corner? And what events or energies will we experience? Events or energies will we experience? Okay, so here we go. Yi Sun Shin. Yi Sun Shin is about to face the Japanese Navy with his new turtle ships. How will the battle go? How will the battle go? So, where are we? Ta-tang! Wow! Okay. We are the world. Interesting. What crosses us? The obstacle. What helps us overcome, or what helps us overcome the obstacle? Okay. So this is interesting. This is interesting. Both of these are swords of completion, right? The world is the end of the cycle for the majors, for the triumphi, and the Ten of Swords is the end of the cycle for the swords minors. The foundation. What are we standing on? Okay, so interesting. We've got a Knight of Cups, which is okay, which is interesting because, of course, Yi Sun Shin is an admiral, so he's a water fighter, yeah. He is perhaps a Knight of Cups in many ways. But that's only one side meaning, of course. I'm just drawing that out as an interesting little point. What have we learned? Okay, so we're going from here, the foundation, to what have we learned for? Okay, now the fountain. This is an extra card. And so I'll be using the book to check the meaning of this. I'd secretly been hoping that this card would show up in this spread because it's interesting, it's odd, it's quirky that to have one of these extra cards in a spread. Okay, so this is this is the past, what we have learned. Now here, the highest, what we can attain. Okay, good. We can attain decisions, perhaps. We'll get there. What can we attain? And then what's before us should be here. What's around the corner? Ooh. Okay, so that's good. Now, events and energies we will experience. There will be 4 of them. Number 1. Okay. Number 2. Whoa, sorry. Okay, good. Number 3. Wow, this actually is making a lot of sense, I think. Number 4. Okay. Okay. Not exactly the outcome I was expecting, but an outcome that I think is worthy. Let me stand up and double check how this looks on camera. And it looks okay. We're going to move this a little bit over here. Yeah. Okay, so let's dive into this reading and see how it makes sense. What do we have? The world. Where are we? We are in the world, of course. But we're at the culmination, we're at the conclusion of a cycle. And Yi Sun-shin's battle was, like I said, turned the tide, right? So we're at the completion of this cycle of invasion, I believe is what we're seeing here. We're at the end of something. We're about to move into something else. We're not there yet, because we haven't fought the battle yet, but we're at the end of something. And we're ready to give birth to something else. Perhaps we'll give birth to a new Korea. A re-liberated Korea. Now, the Japanese didn't colonize during that invasion. The Japanese actual colonization did not happen until the mid-late 1800s. Yes, the mid to the late 1800s was when Japan actually came and colonized Korea for about 50 years. But so this is not a pre-colonial fight or a fight to reclaim the country from colonization. However, it was a very serious invasion. And so this is the end of that cycle, perhaps. And what is our obstacle, or to overcome the obstacle? And it looks to me like this is an obstacle. Yeah, low morale. Feeling this endedness, we're feeling that endedness not in the sense of hope of rebirth, but feeling an endedness to our country, to our independence, to our agency, if you will. Yeah, feeling completely knocked down. That makes sense. This feeling of being completely knocked down and with thoughts of frightening, angry, hurt thoughts. That makes absolute sense to me. The foundation. What are we standing on? We're standing on the Knight of Cups. We have the energy, we have the emotional energy to get out there and be in the world. And again, this is a water battle that he's about to go in, and the Knight of Cups is a water element. So a fighter in the water, of course, but also one of emotional connection. Now, usually he's a romantic. And perhaps Yi Sun-shin is standing on this romantic notion of being able to be an inventor or the administrator of the invention of something brand new in the world. Yeah, that is going to be the savior of his people. Maybe there is that romantic element that he is standing on. And so we're going to go from here to the past. What have we learned? We have learned the fountain. And let me read from the book, The Fountain. This is the creator's card. Where is the fountain? Probably at the end of the majors, I would guess. No. Where is the fountain card? Where's the fountain card here? The Fool to the Queen of... to the... Oh, here's the fountain. Okay, good. The fountain exists outside and beyond the cycles of birth, death, and time, and form. It is the nameless, changeless source of which everything is part. It is the waking form, the dream of separateness and identity. and the recognition of oneself as not only connected to all things, but all things divine nature. Nature of oneself not only connected to all things, but all things, divine nature. When the fountain appears in your reading, relinquish all illusion of control and remain quiet. It invites you to observe, master less, and to just be, effortless, indistinguishable from life. Effortless and indistinguishable from life. You are the voice and the breath of universes. Okay, so what we have learned, 1, 2, 3, 4, what we have learned is to be quiet and to observe and to realize connection. And perhaps it is from this state that Yi Sun-shin was able to, be able to manage the creation of this brand new kind of boat, which there was skepticism around that. And to have the vision to be able to move past that. Perhaps that's what this is trying to say. Yeah? Outside of time, outside of apparent reality, to be able to sit and receive. Okay, I can go with that. That kind of works. Does that make sense to you? Here we go with what we can attain, and what we can attain is decision above the water. Now, you see that this is generally an air card, right? But she is above the water. She is decisive above the water. She is holding 2 swords above the water. And I believe this is, in this state, looks like a card of victory. Now you see there's no one around her that she's battling. She is above the water and is victorious in her decisive victory. Now usually the 2 of swords is a card of making decisions, having to make choices. And certainly there are choices that Yi Sun-shin is going to have to make as he wages this war. But there's also in this deck this sense of victory above the water that is interesting. Him being in the water and above the water as a fighting knight. And also the expected outcome is rising above the water. Swords in the air. Looking to me very victorious. So if I read the image on top of the traditional meanings, this looks like a victory to me. Now, of course, I know that in retrospect, it's hindsight is 20/20, but that's the way it looks to me. So, what are the energies or we will experience, the events or energies? First one is a Queen of Cups. You notice how much water there is in this reading. Yeah, we have the where am I? We have the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the 3 of Cups. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed this card. I missed what's around the corner. Oops, sorry. What's around the corner is commitment, decision. I've got to commit and make a decision to what I'm going to do. Now, the Lover's card is a card of making a decision and committing to it. And so, Yi Sun-shin is, as he enters the battle, how will the battle go? It'll go, and he will need to make a decision and make a commitment to see it to the end. Which is important because he is severely wounded in the battle. During the battle, he is severely wounded, and I believe there's a story that they put his clothes up like he was standing at the mast or at the head of the ship commanding, even though he was in the back, because he was hurt so badly. And people saw what they thought of as his form and took courage and continued fighting. So this commitment to going to the end of the battle is important. Now, again, where are we? Events and energies. Yeah, we've got emotion cards. Emotion is important here. We have 2 Wands cards. Yeah, we have 2 Swords cards. But more than that, we have Cups cards. So his emotional state is important here. His emotional state, being able to lead, is not always just a passion event or state. It's also an emotional state. Being able to emotionally connect with and draw in the people around you. It's not always leading from in front. It's also drawing people together, emotionally connecting. So, his experience of being in the water, being able to empathize with those around him, connect with those around him, nurture, nourish, emotionally nourish those around him in battle, is one of the things that he is going to experience and need to take advantage of. The next thing, now see, we have 2 wands coming up here. The 4 of wands, there is going to be an initial sense of victory. Now he's going to experience a temporary victory, but he shouldn't get to, he shouldn't let loose of his commitment with this victory. This first victory is not going to be, we're all done. Yeah, he needs to keep going because he needs to have resilience. After coming with this first victory, he needs to have the resilience to keep fighting, to battle those that are still coming after him, even after this victory. And he needs to hold his higher ground, which happens because at first the Japanese are really, really surprised by this odd, freaky little turtle boat or group of turtle boats that they've never seen before. So there's an initial victory, and then he needs to hold that victory. And then finally what he gets is a celebration with those around him. Yeah, his tribe, his people. There is a celebration at the end, which makes perfect sense for this battle. Yeah, he's in the water, he's there, and he needs to emotionally connect with and support those around him. He experiences a small victory at first, but he can't stop there. This isn't the end of the battle. He keeps going. And finally, there is that celebration at the end. And he is celebrated as well. And a mingling of all of those people who have celebration with all of those people who have come together to create that victory. Okay, so I think this reading worked pretty well, worked very well. I like the openness of this side of the spread for Colette Baron-Reid's version of the Celtic Cross, because I think we can get more of a story going on this side, rather than the more traditional individual questions like what is internal, what is the external influence, what is the hope, fear, what is the outcome. And these can influence each other more, I think, more subtly and more fluidly in this open reading. But there's a valid reason for doing both. And I can see that doing both, having questions, definite questions for this side, or having a more open staff, can be beneficial. So in a moment, I'm going to put up the spread for the questions for Colette Baron-Reid's version of the Celtic Cross. Well, I'll do it now. Here it is. In closing, I'd like to hear what you think. What do you think? Which of these versions of the Celtic Cross did you like the best? Which reading did you think most matched? Or which reading seemed the closest to what you know of the stories that we were reading about? Which decks do you like best? I'd like to hear about that. I'd like to hear about anything. Are you going to, do you use the Celtic Cross now? If you don't, are you interested in trying it now? I'd love to hear from you below in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the alarm bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. And hit the like button if you got anything from this. If you felt like you've either learned something or spent an interesting, I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm going to guess about an hour with me. Hit the like button and share if you think somebody else might get a kick out of watching the Celtic Cross in various forms in action. And friends, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.